get on with it.
Go, go.
Cool. Hi everyone. I'm George, head of product at Devyce. Great to be a part of the TEAMTech Day. And thanks everyone for joining and it continues to join. Please don't leave. It's not going to be the longest session. I'll try and hold your attention. But let's dive into it. So when we talk about momentum in recruitment, conversation usually goes towards sort of BD strategy or marketing or candidate flow. But one of the most, I'd say, overlooked parts of a recruitment business and foundations is the phone system. Obviously, I'd say that as a someone who works for a phone system, but even though I suppose why it's overlooked, I don't really understand because it's really where most of the real work actually happens. You think of your first conversations with candidates and clients. I mean, people nowadays they use LinkedIn. Obviously, they use they're emailing cold outreach in that case. But your first real proper conversation is normally over the phone. And everyday recruiters are having high stakes conversations with candidates and clients, but the systems supporting those conversations haven't really evolved, and that's been going on for a while. So over the next sort of 10 minutes or so, I just want to talk about what a phone system really needs to look like to generally support a modern recruitment business heading into 2026. So it's not just about connecting the calls anymore, but it's also about helping recruiters perform better. So, like I said, well, partly like I said, recruitment I don't think has slowed down. It's just become a bit more complex. So there's more calls, there's more channels, there's a lot more tools to use and get to grips on. But there's more pressure to perform as well. Um, but most teams, most recruitment businesses are still using a phone system designed years ago. So systems connect calls, but they don't necessarily help recruiters get any better with the conversations and the connections that they're making, or really help to do anything in terms of aftercare or admin after the calls finish. So, in terms of traditional phone systems, realistically, they're built just as a dialer. They're not necessarily built for recruitment tools. You see here what legacy phone systems really provide or lack of really. They tend to lose data. There are a lot of manual processes built in, limited in terms of integrations. They sit outside also of the recruitment flow. So they're not built into the flow itself. They're not helpful in that sort of way. As you think of traditional businesses and recruitment companies, you pick up the desk phone, have the call, jump off, and then try and remember what was said. So they do tend to generate decent data. I mean, they're picking out call times and durations, but there's no real insight. I'm just checking you guys can still see my screen, yeah? All good?
All good. All good. Fine.
Um, Once the call ends, though, the value tends to disappear. So what in terms of what we see as the most sort of untapped value in conversations is that intent, hesitation, motivations, objections. That's the richest source of insight in recruitment businesses. Yet historically, we've treated them as disposable. So if you think about conversations that you might have had as a consultant, you jump on a call, you might have a bad call, and the first thing on your mind is forget about it, don't want to think about it. Take some deep breaths, do some jumping jacks, and jump on your next call and try to make that one better. But there's not enough focus on how can I improve and how can I easily improve without pulling in an external sales coach that's generally not recruitment specific and tells you to do those deep breaths before calls, but it's not really that useful. So what does a phone system really need to look like? A modern phone system. It's not just about voice anymore. It's not just about having a well-connected call that you can hear the other end. It needs to do three things really well. It needs to understand conversations, it needs to support improvement, and it needs to scale those insights that are being created from those conversations across the business. It can't just help one person. It needs to be used. What's your top biller doing the best? We need to surface that data and use it across the business. And if your phone system doesn't have that or doesn't do those things, it's potentially holding your team back. So where does Devyce fit into this? Well, we've built a phone system specifically for recruitment. It's not a generic sales system. It's not for call centers. We focus on real recruitment conversations, um, and importantly, it sits in the middle of your workflow. So it connects people, people and connects conversations. It integrates with your CRM directly, and it brings all your insights into one place, centrally within Devyce. And then those insights can be put around to wherever you need them to go. But what it really comes down to um, is what happens after the call. Obviously, during the call, recruiters tend to know what to do, but what happens after the call finishes is what we've really focused on, and especially with a tool like Sensei. So, what you're seeing on screen here is feedback that a consultant gets straight after a call. So, it's not a summary. We've done summaries historically, we've got brilliant AI summaries that are produced. But this is actually coaching that helps shape the next conversation that you have with either a candidate or a client. So what Sensei does, it compares previous phone calls or text messages, and it highlights what's improving. It shows where there's still room to develop. So you get a quick snapshot of your performance. You can see a timeline on there showing you moments that you can jump to, the moments that matter with the objections and outcomes. And the feedback that it gives you is actually really easy to act on and designed to help consultants improve faster, while also giving managers visibility without having to sit on those calls and micromanage. So it's not generic training as such. It's coaching that's specifically tailored to how a recruiter personally communicates with whoever they're talking to. And this is the other side of things. So we've looked at the consultant side, but also this is all about sharing that data and surfacing that data and scaling those insights. So as a manager, you get real visibility on what's happening on these live calls. You can see performance trends across the consultants and across teams, in fact, and you see obviously on screen, you see questions, objections, engagement. You can set outcomes, and they can all be tracked over time. So it highlights where coaching is needed, so managers can focus on the calls that actually matter as well. You can pick out certain calls, and the best thing is this is happening on every single conversation. It's just not picking and choosing random conversations. So that's how you really see that improvement over time, and you can start to notice those patterns and drive improvement as a manager or a coach without micromanaging. And we've got at the top there where it says compared to the last few calls, we've got themes now built in. So as a manager, you don't have to be a sales coach. You can just be a manager who's put in charge of a team. Maybe you're a sales coach, sales manager, and you just want to help out your team and see those insights. So we're drawing out those insights for you as a coach as well. So this really turns coaching from like a one-off event into a daily habit. And here you can see just it benefiting across the business. So you get that structuralized, personalized feedback. That's highlighting the areas where you can grow and improve. And then as a manager, you get to see your consultants improving continuously and aid them with that improvement. And as a business, of course, that has a knock-on effect. So if you're boosting your skills, you're turning that bit, that one of your medium sort of billers into that top biller. You're boosting skills, and obviously profitability follows with that. But up to now, obviously, I was just been talking about Sensei and improving conversations, but there's definitely another issue, problem when it comes to recruiters, and that's dealing with what happens after the call in terms of next steps. So even when a call goes really well, momentum often dies when it comes to writing notes, which obviously we cover with our AI note taking. But creating job specs, chasing details, sending follow-ups. That's exactly what we've tried to solve with Sensei. So in this case, it's more about speed and accuracy rather than coaching or improvement. So what you see on screen is Sidekick. It lives directly in each contact's conversational page, your interactions page. It understands past calls and messages, not just sort of your latest conversations. And recruiters simply just have to ask. You don't have to search. You just ask what you need from it. And it will help you out, whether that's job specs. As you can see on screen here, I'm trying to surface some data and some information from previous calls and conversations I've had. I need to find out some information, and it's pulled all the timestamps, dates, what my question really was, what the answer was, and it's trying to highlight. Do you want to see this transcript, the call details? It's giving you everything, so it's not like you have to jump off the platform. It's all in here for you. I'm just going to play this short video here as I talk and just show you what it looks like. So you're seeing Sidekick hopefully working in off real conversational data. So you can search for information, like I mentioned sort of weeks ago. So salary expectations, notice periods, location preferences, sort of without having to scroll or search through your notes or recordings. And obviously, you can generate follow-up emails and messages in this case that actually reflect what was discussed in your conversations, not like you're having to copy and paste and give ChatGPT or something lots of context. This is all understanding every message, every phone call that's coming in. And importantly, staying within your workflow. Like we mentioned with Sensei, keep it all in one place. Don't be jumping around different tools. You don't need to do that anymore. And in terms of future development, we're looking to pull data not just from past phone or message conversations, but actually start to pull in more information from your emails and from your CRM. So you've got this whole bank of knowledge that Sidekick's looking at after every call. And hopefully, we want to start doing it during your calls. So as they're asking you questions, Sidekick's working in the background and pulling that information out for you. So just a couple of tools there that we've got. I'll just admit this person in there. So just sort of looking at it overall now, in terms of three questions, if I was a recruitment business, a recruitment agency owner, director, what would I want to be asking about my phone system? Well, I think number one is, does it make your recruiters better? You have an opportunity now to improve your consultants passively, like really easily, just by having some of these tools. So does your system actually improve your consultants? Because there's the opportunity to do that now. Does it reduce admin? Does it save your guys time? Or does it create more admin at the moment, your system, by having to jump around different tools? And finally, does it give real insight? Again, you've got the opportunity to pull real actionable insights from these conversations now, not just generalized data. So does it do that? So to cap it all off, then, I think that phone system is no longer just about just a part of the infrastructure of a business. It's now and can be used now as a performance tool, a real performance tool that can be used to help consultants day to day. And like we say, sort of small improvements every call, every day. That's how you start to build momentum. And the teams that win this year are starting that shift now, not later. Thanks for listening. A quick one. We got 5 minutes left, I think. So any questions would be great.
Got 6 minutes.
That
Oof.
Andy and I were early adopters for Devyce at Team, and we've enjoyed it for the last, well, is it 18 months, 2 years now? And I can honestly say we'd refer it to most people that have an inquiry about a comm system, and with the exception of one, everyone said, "Oh no, wow, this is amazing." The person said, "No, that's not really for us." I spoke to them a month ago, and they said, "Oh, we've just got Devyce." I said, "I thought you did. I thought you rubbished it when we talked about 6 months ago." And she said, "Well, I had another look, and it's
Hmm.
amazing."
It's
Somebody
probably 'cause
said,
Nick probably showed them at the first time. That's probably why.
"Do you think?" Yeah, well,
Yeah, no
that's a
doubt.
good. That's a funny way of resigning, George. Given that Nick's on the call. Anyway, um, but honestly, I can't think of anyone that said no, it hasn't worked for us. It's just, and you don't even have to sign a contract, do you? That's it. One
No,
of the
yeah,
other.
it's monthly rolling. So I mean, we're big believers that we've got a great product now. Obviously, sort of well respected within the market, but
Yeah,
one of those things is offering no contracts. I mean, if you believe in your tech and you know it works, then there's no need to. And people
yeah,
trust you, and it's this sort of ongoing relationship where we're sort of held accountable and got to ensure that our system works for everyone, and we're constantly evolving. Like you see those tools there to improve users. So it kind of works both ways. But yeah,
well done. Thank you, and well done to you, and you're great supporters of us as well. So really appreciate
no
your
problem.
ongoing support and your partnership. Thank you, George.
No
Wow.
worries.
I'll add to that. I just think that sidekick and the sensei is
Yeah.
that's just absolutely game changing. Like I think it's just I can't. There's just too much stuff going on today in my head. Like I'm fried. But that was wonderful. Well done, George. That was a wonderful
No
presentation.
worries, guys.
You need to change if you're using Sensei as a tool. You need to, instead of sidekick, call it a Mawashigeri Jodan because
You're gonna have to send me the meaning of that.
no, because your Sensei is a Japanese martial arts coach, and a Mawashi sidekick is just that feels like it's something on the side. But a
Yeah.
Mawashigeri Jodan is a
Well,
knockout kick.
yeah, you start to, yeah, you're right. You're right. But if anyone obviously is interested that's been watching this, then feel free to visit the website, book
Cool.
in a demo.
Couple of
More than happy to
questions.
jump on a
We've still
show.
got 3 minutes, so let me just fire these questions to you real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
So Lisa asked, how does it generate a candidate summary you can send to clients saying how they fit the brief? Can you show an example? Well, Lisa Johnson, you probably need to book a demo for that, I would have
Well,
thought.
I mean, I could share my screen and whip it up and tell it to do something now, but essentially, um, it just goes off of what your conversations you've had. So you can have templates with Devyce that you use on, say, a call with a candidate. Um, and you can use these question templates. The AI basically fills in the questions that have been asked, and then Sidekick's sitting on the side there. So all you need to do is, create a job spec for me based on our conversations. It will automatically be looking to do that for you. Like I mentioned, it's a recruitment specific tool, so it's built with recruiters in mind, and we're constantly trying to make that easier. But yeah, more than happy to show you how that works in real time.
Brilliant.
And then is there a limit on users? Can solos use it?
Yes, yeah, we do. You can sign up for a free trial through the website. More than happy. I mean, when we started, it was all about getting, you know, solo users on. So we don't have a limit, a minimum user.
Dave Irons asked that question. Dave, you trust me, sign up to it, mate. You'll love it. It's amazing. And then last question is on pricing from Ovi, but I'm
Nick's already dealt with it. He's
yeah.
faster than George. Yeah.
So have a great weekend, George. Next time,
Yeah,
maybe
cheers, guys. Appreciate it.
big
Well
mine
done,
out the back
George.
of the
That
car
was
as
a
well
great
because I wear mine to
presentation.
the gym. But I'll see you lot later. Just stop
Cheers.
recording now.